What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for June 6th, 2022. We're starting to see that there might be some major changes coming to the way we travel in Star Citizen. They're updating some of our older missions, and scanning is a big focus this month. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, package it into a video, and throw some of my opinions in there as well. I also do live stream on twitch.tv/SaltEMike every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys. And I do have a second channel too called SaltEMike 2, where we do go over some of these things in more detail and less broken down for your consumption. But we do have a lot to get through, so let's jump into the monthly report. And starting out with the monthly report, as always, we will start with AI. And for AI tech, they worked on ship functionality. This seemed directly related to Invictus Launch Week and making the big ship parade be more smooth before they quantum traveled. Personally, I saw them stand still for minutes before leaving, but maybe it works on their servers. You know how that goes, right? But they also mentioned something called Quantum Boost, and that'll be a bit of a theme throughout this update. AI vehicle features, this opened up for more AI variation, so AI with a reckless or aggressive tag may dive bomb big ships. Maybe this has something to do with how they'll act on planets as well. For animation, I would normally skip something like this, but they mentioned working on a new mission giver. Do you think this will be one of the ones we already know about, like Eddie Parr that was on the roadmap for years and never came? Or will it be a new one? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Then for UK ship art, they worked on hull stripping like we've been seeing. They also progressed on an unannounced ground vehicle. So another one after the Mule. Alien Week is coming up, so I have some expectations there for that. The Bane of Merchantment is moving through Greybox, and I'm sure we'll see something on a sprint report on ISC about it. And the tractor beam ship, the Argo SRV, began production. The US team is also working on the Corsair, and we're kind of just waiting on more updates for that. The community team, I normally wouldn't go over this as well. And I'm sure most of you actually don't care about this. It's very content creator related, but I know some of you, the guys that watch these shows, are content creators as well. So they are working on a new community hub. I think I used the old one for like a week, and it really did nothing for streamers. It didn't kind of rank us or put us anywhere or show that we streamed really at all. And it was also brigaded a lot, and it still is. And I'm sure most of you even forgot it exists. So we'll see what happens with that. I think other game studios do things like support their content creators in different ways that I think are somewhat better as far as like community hub stuff goes. I think CIG is doing a great job with us as far as the way they support us with when a new ship comes out, we don't have to buy it, so we could show it to you, and they give it to us for a really short period of time, and then it just disappears from our account. And if we want to buy it, we can, but we have the ability to show it off for a couple weeks, which is always very welcomed and very much appreciated. This, though, we'll see how it goes, and I'm not sure how useful it's going to be, but we'll see. The Arena Commander feature team, scanning is on their priority right now. Not sure what exactly is really planned yet, but it certainly can use some love. Anybody who's mined or searches for other ships, it's just a little bit weird right now. And I'm not sure how this is going to play into the PU because Arena Commander feature team. But then we go on to the character and weapon features team, and we kind of got our answer on the PU here. But it's now kind of hard to tell if this is active work on the PU or on Squadron, because we know that these teams are mostly working on Squadron. And I'm starting to notice a very copy and paste between the Squadron 42 monthly report and the Star Citizen monthly report. So we don't know what work is going to shift over to the PU quickly or what is going to be staying in Squadron and being polished, right? They're improving the way the ping wave goes out, which many of us use to fly safely at night. So hopefully that doesn't ruin that. Scans will eventually show items and points of interest for missions. This does seem very FPS scanning related and not ship related because yeah, it's the character and weapons feature team. And increasing the info that we get from scans. They had a mention about a door and what we would hear from that. Vehicle features. The QT boost mechanic was mentioned again. It was casually mentioned last month too, but we know nothing about the feature. We literally had 2 devs on SEL, I think, last week, and it wasn't talked about at all. That's one of the confusing things for me. They're also working on their PES and meshing work and general balancing. Now, for Montreal Locations team, they're still working on Reclaimer Derelicts planned for 3.17.2. They also have the 600i and Mercury Star Runner settlements, or settlement, maybe it's combined, which will be located on Daymar, which is pretty cool. They are also moving the Lorville rework to pre-production from concept, and building interiors are in the concept phase as well. I think we all want to go down to a building interior on ArcCorp, right? I think that's something we've been waiting for a very long time. VFX, more discussions around the QT rework. This is more from a visual standpoint, but man, it feels like we're going to have a lot more control over the system than it previously was. I mean, it was basically on rails before. Do you think it's going to stay on rails? Do you think it's going to be more like Elite Dangerous Super Cruise? Let me know in the comments below. This is incredibly interesting because we know they're working to slow down ships. We know they need a new system for travel around larger distances at the scale of Star Citizen. Is this their solution? I'm super confused and super excited, but that was the monthly report. And for video updates, we didn't have much. We had just an ISC this week titled Illicit Delivery, which was about unlawful delivery missions, and they start out with a general idea of how we're going to find them.
The illegal delivery missions in 3.17.2 are going to function somewhat similarly to the legal ones, but they get run through a different organization. You will be running them through Redwind. You will have to build up your reputations with them. They will test your trust. They will see that you're reliable by doing fairly legal things at the beginning, and eventually they will give you one of these missions where you have to do something a bit dodgy. And based on how you do that thing, they will either open this career path for you or not.
Out of everything in the entirety of this ISC, I found this to be the most interesting, that it opens up a path that we didn't know was there. That just seems cool. But they also discuss what the risks are for taking these missions.
There will be some risks involved. You will have to visit some really nefarious locations, some drug labs, some stashes where generally they're not populated by your lawful citizens. So you might encounter some people doing similar missions that are not very favorable to other people doing them. You might bump into them. You might have to end up in a fight, or maybe you join up on other adventures. The other more fixed risk factor is the chance of getting interdicted a lot more. So you will have to make sure when you get interdicted, you pretty much have to run for it. If they find the drugs on you or whatever illegal things you're moving, that will end up in you going to prison or in a fight or having to run for your life.
I'm not buying this much. The idea that in a server meshed environment, this would be a thing, or when NPCs populate those more seedy areas, sure. I don't think he's talking much about 3.17.2 here. I think he's talking about the future, but maybe there'll be counter missions or similar to jail, 2 people doing the mission at the same time. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I'm confused by this one, but I think he's talking more in the future. Then they talk about if there's going to be any sort of special rewards.
And obviously with the additional risk, there will come additional rewards that the legal side of the career delivery missions will not give you.
I really hope they take this opportunity to give the players actual in-game rewards, like items, that pertain to completing these missions or gaining a certain amount of rep or something. We have never had this before. It's always been kind of faked and done through the website. That would be really nice. But yeah, I would just love missions to have more rewards than just Alpha UEC, because it would give the game a bit more life. Let me know what you guys think about this. I feel like they asked this question for a reason. I feel like he answered it this way for a reason. But again, I feel like I'm also reading into it a bit too much. Then they had another featurette on combat service beacons. And they really didn't change that much. But the main thing they discussed here.
What we are going to be doing is basically making it so that there are now 10 levels of difficulty for these combat service assist beacons. And when you go to accept them in your contract broker, you will be able to actually see that you are accepting anywhere from 1 to 10, depending on your reputation with the organization running these service assist beacons.
Great. So they labeled the difficulty of the missions. The only other thing kind of worth noting here is how they differ from bounty missions. The difficulty is not just based on the type of ship that you're going to be fighting against.
In this particular case, difficulty 1 might be something as easy as go save this little relatively undamaged ship from an Aurora or something. Pretty easy, pretty starter, something that you should be able to handle. As you do more of them and rank up, you will unlock higher and rarer variants, up to difficulty 10, which should be something on the lines of like, oh, there is a relatively damaged ship being attacked by either a small group or an Idris or something quite threatening. And that mission should basically mean that when you are accepting it, you immediately say to your friends, everybody hop in, we're going to go and handle this together.
So I think that that's pretty cool. It takes what we've been doing with bounties and kind of adds another wrinkle, adds a little bit of flair to them. But in general, I thought this ISC was a little bit weird. It was all about reworks, and I think people were just kind of disappointed at the level of those reworks. I think we would want them to be stepped up a bit. But let me know in the comments what you guys thought, because I just struggle with the fact that the tailored mission content in this game has really never delivered that confidence for me that the game is going to be really fun, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. And starting out with other updates, they had an Anvil Legionnaire Q&A, and the first thing they answer were, what conditions do you need to dock on a ship? Is it just the permissions? And basically, there are no other conditions, like the ship doesn't have to be still. So it's basically the permissions, and this ship can override them. I've never tried to dock with a ship that's moving. I'm assuming it's very difficult, but it can be done. Then they next asked if you're docked to a ship and they QT, do you QT with them? The answer is yes. And they also discussed the range at which we're going to be able to hack. They don't know, but they think it's going to be pretty close. And then will there be a counter to the hacking? Yes. So hacking is going to have both sides, and if you're not in the ship or at a terminal, the AI of your ship will do the counter hacking for you. But most likely it won't be as good as something you could do. Then there was a Bar Citizen World Tour post. This was something that we saw in the letter for the chairman that they're planning on doing because no CitizenCon. And yeah, they're starting at the studios near them, but they're going to be moving out around the country and around the world. And I hope they come to Florida. It was one of their biggest events a few years back. I was there. I was a little late though, so the picture that they have there, I wasn't in. But I will try to make it to the Florida one if they do it. And if they go to it, are you guys planning on going to any of these? Let me know in the comments. And then there was a Pride Month contest. So it's obviously Pride Month, and they're doing a contest. This one's going to be a little bit different. So instead of the 1st through 3rd, they're just going to give away 10 Anvil Spartans to the best people who share their pride, right? And then sneak peek is a derelict, but it doesn't look like a ship derelict. It looks like one of the outpost variants. And then lastly, a Galactopedia update. The main story was on the first Tavaran Senator, and the rest were just system guides. That is going to do it for this week's Week in Review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure you leave a like. Those help us out big time. Leave any of those comments I asked you guys to down below, and make sure you hit subscribe for more Weeks in Review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.